Hare Krishna, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. On April 21, 2025, the world woke up to the sorrowful news of the passing away of Pope Francis in Vatican. Christians across the world grieved for the revered Pope. Elaborate rituals followed, and the Pope was honorably buried in his grave. After the funeral followed the 9-day mourning period. Once the mourning period was over, it was time to elect a new Pope. The College of Cardinals convened a conclave on 7th of May to do this. A list of prominent cardinals was drawn up as potential candidates to become the next Pope. Then all the cardinals voted for each of the candidates. We understand that as per set practices, whichever candidate would get 2/3 of the votes would become the Pope. It is said that there were 4 rounds of voting in this conclave, and in the final round of voting, which happened on 8th of May, Cardinal Prevost secured the required number of votes. White smoke emerged from the Sistine Chapel in the evening of 8th May, signifying that a new Pope had been elected. Cardinal Prevost was declared as the new Pope, Pope Leo. Of course, we must understand that there must have been a lot of things which went on in the background. But in essence, this is the overall process that went on in electing the new Pope. This then, dear devotees, is how the Pope or the religious leader of the church is elected to his post. In other words, this is the ecclesiastical process for electing the leader of the church. The word ecclesiastical, according to the dictionary, means of or relating to the church. While this ecclesiastical process of electing a religious leader might be valid for other religions, we cannot say that by virtue of being valid in another religion, it will be valid in our sampradaya too. From sampradaya to sampradaya, religion to religion, the validity of different practices vary. What is valid in our sampradaya may not be valid in another sampradaya or religion. What is valid in another sampradaya or religion may not be valid in our sampradaya. Each one is unique. What is the process of appointing the Diksha Gurus in our parampara? We have seen how the Pope is elected. In our parampara, what is the process of appointing the Diksha Gurus? Here is what Srila Prabhupada says about this. In a lecture on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 2, recorded in Nairobi on 28th of October 1975, Srila Prabhupada said,
a guru can become guru when he is ordered by his guru. That's all. Otherwise, nobody can become guru.
And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, purport to verse 54, chapter 8, canto 4, Srila Prabhupada says, one should take initiation from a bona fide spiritual master coming in the disciplic succession, who is authorized by his predecessor spiritual master. This is called Diksha Vidhana. Again, on October 13, 1972, in a lecture on Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada said,
similarly, bona fide guru means he must be authorized by the superior guru. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amar Aggaye Guru Haiya Taro Eidis. He must receive the order from the superior. And the superior must be bona fide. Then he is bona fide. Not self-made.
So, Srila Prabhupada says here that a Diksha Guru must be ordered by his Guru, who in turn should be ordered by his Guru to become a Diksha Guru, and so on. That is the definition of a bona fide Guru. This is how an unbroken chain of Guru Parampara is made. And earlier, we have seen that Srila Prabhupada had said that Diksha Vidhana or process of Diksha initiation means that one must take initiation from such a bona fide Guru only. Yet again, Srila Prabhupada in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 10, verse 136 purport says, the conclusion is that an empowered spiritual master is authorized by Krishna and his own guru and should therefore be considered as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. That is the verdict of Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Sakshad Haritvena. An authorized spiritual master is as good as Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Hari is free to act as he likes, the empowered spiritual master is also free. As Hari is not subject to mundane rules and regulations, the spiritual master empowered by him is also not subject. According to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 7, verse 11, Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartana. An authorized spiritual master, empowered by Krishna, can spread the glories of the holy name of the Lord, for he has power of attorney from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the mundane world, anyone possessing his master's power of attorney can act on behalf of his master. Similarly, a spiritual master empowered by Krishna through his own bona fide spiritual master should be considered as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So please note here, what does Prabhupada say? A spiritual master empowered by Krishna through his own bona fide spiritual master. This is a point to be noted. Continuing the purport, Prabhupada says, that is the meaning of Sakshad Haritvena. I am sure you must have come across many more such quotes such as this, where Srila Prabhupada repeatedly emphasizes that bona fide Diksha Guru means he must have been ordered by his Guru to become Guru. And his own Guru must have been ordered by his Guru to become a Guru. This is the Guru Parampara. Now, that is what Srila Prabhupada said about the system of appointment of Diksha Guru in our Parampara. Now, let us see what is the system adopted by ISKCON Mumbai's GBC in choosing Diksha Gurus in its camp. ISKCON Mumbai Group's GBC has passed resolution number 409 of 2004, which states, as a matter of utmost ecclesiastical responsibility, ISKCON's ultimate managing authority, the GBC, regulates who within ISKCON may perform the service of initiating disciples. So this refers to the process where, similar to the church electing their religious leader, spiritual masters or Diksha Gurus in ISKCON are voted by the GBC members. In the case of the church, the Pope is elected by the conclave of cardinals. In the case of ISKCON Mumbai Group, a Guru is elected by the votes of the GBC. A very similar process to electing a religious leader through the votes of a conclave has been adopted by the GBC in regulating Diksha Gurus in ISKCON. Of course, like it happened with the elections of the Pope, a lot of other things must be going on in the background before a Guru is voted for by the GBC. But in essence, the Guru is voted by the GBC to become a Guru. So, the GBC of ISKCON Mumbai Group have openly declared that their process of deciding who can act as Diksha Guru in ISKCON is ecclesiastical in nature. That means their process is very similar to the church process of electing religious leaders by votes. But we have seen Srila Prabhupada has already clearly explained that in our parampara, Diksha Guru is ordered by his predecessor Guru. The Diksha Guru doesn't become a Guru by votes of a body of Vaishnavas or an ecclesiastical process. In fact, Srila Prabhupada rejected such an ecclesiastical process as far as our sampradaya is concerned for appointing Diksha Gurus. Of course, we must understand that we are not questioning the validity of the ecclesiastical process of appointment of the religious leaders in the church. That's not what we are doing. We are simply looking at the validity of such a practice in our sampradaya. As far as our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is concerned, Srila Prabhupada said in an article in Back to Godhead dated March 20, 1960. In that Back to Godhead article, Srila Prabhupada stated, "It is imperative also that a seriously inclined person must accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of the shastric injunction and give up the company of a pseudo-spiritual master in terms of social usages and hereditary or customary and ecclesiastic conventions." So here, directly, Srila Prabhupada says that the GBC gurus who are appointed by the ecclesiastical process as affirmed by the GBC in their resolution number 409 of 2004, that one must give up the company of such ISKCON gurus who have been accepted according to ecclesiastical convention. Not only that, Srila Prabhupada reiterated the same thing in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 1, verse 35 purport, where Srila Prabhupada quotes Srila Jiva Goswami. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Sri Jiva Goswami advises that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary or customary social and ecclesiastical conventions. One should simply try to find a genuinely qualified spiritual master for actual advancement in spiritual understanding. So, accepting a spiritual master according to ecclesiastical conventions is prohibited as per Srila Prabhupada in the Gaudiya sampradaya. And even if one has by chance accepted a guru according to ecclesiastical conventions, one must give up or reject such a guru. On the one hand, Srila Prabhupada said that Diksha guru must be appointed by his guru, who in turn must be appointed by his guru, and so on. On the other hand, Srila Prabhupada also prohibited an ecclesiastical method for appointing gurus, appointing a guru by the votes of a body such as the GBC. Hence, the Diksha gurus in ISKCON are not to be accepted as spiritual masters as per Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Prabhupada. In Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON group of temples, there is no ecclesiastical guru, unlike the ISKCON Mumbai group's temples. Only bona fide Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari Diksha Guru Srila Prabhupada as per Srila Prabhupada's own order of July 9, 1977. All devotees are welcome to come to Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON group of temples and take Diksha from the only bona fide Guru of ISKCON, which is His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.